Hey guys, this time we'll be sharing about certain things such as location preferences and also a little bit on exit strategizing. Why? Because I received quite some queries and comments recently talking about location. Why people will choose, because now the main thing is either on the west side you have Botany and then the other side you have Lentor, which is experiencing currently a lot of supply. That's why people are like thinking, are saying, hey, why TD says Botany is good. Previously in my previous video, I'm not saying every single unit in that development is gonna be good. Please. The funny thing is that everyone thinks that, oh, TT says this one is good. That's why everything that I buy there is good. No, it's always not like this. Whatever, it can be a good project, but it doesn't mean every single unit that you can buy. And even if you buy the right unit, you buy the right project, and you exit the wrong way later, I'll show you an example, then you'll be in for a so-called treat. Good luck to those people, unfortunately, because they are ill-advised, they do not know, and sometimes a lot of them are smart and lag. So I would say in a way they kind of deserve it, because this is not obviously not their expertise. Everyone has their own expertise, but if you try to act like this expertise is yours when it obviously isn't, then I think there's a price to pay for that lah. Okay. So whatever I share today is just based on my own point of view and my own research. So make sure you do your due diligence and let's move on. Okay, this is an example. The funny thing is that a lot of people say, hey, dairy farm is ulu. I'm just quoting an example. Okay. So a lot of people are saying, hey, west side is ulu, I cannot take it. And then why not go and buy this one instead of this one? So the funny thing is that a lot of people who stay around this area or even stay around this area will think that this is ulu land. But the funny thing is also that people who stay around this area and even this area will think that this is ulu land. So is either of them right? Actually, both of them are right. Both of them can be wrong. So there's no right or wrong. And it really depends on perspective. Ultimately, whatever you buy, as long as the fundamentals are sound, there will always be demand for that particular area, no matter how much you don't like it. I literally have clients who really tell me, hey, I cannot stay in dairy farm. It's such a ulu place. That's why I used to think as well. But the funny thing is that once they walk the ground, they change their mind. And I myself was like this, because I was thinking last time, you remember, most of us went through OBS there. What kind of place is that? It's like another part of Singapore. Is it maybe another island in Singapore? But after you go there, I myself, I was thinking, when I frequent there a little bit more, I realized actually this is a place that I really don't mind staying for the long term. Especially the peace and tranquility that it can give you after work. That is a very different vibe, very different kind of feeling in Singapore. That's why some people will really want to prefer here. Some people will want to prefer here. There's no right, no wrong. Important thing is, what kind of pricing are you buying into? What kind of unit are you buying into? What development, and how are you gonna exit? How are you gonna strategize your whole exit? The whole thing is a whole package. A lot of people always focus on the first part, but you totally forget about the second part, which is also the most important, because ultimately it is a full equation. You need the input and then the output. If you only put in very good at the input, but you basically for lack of a better way, you suck at the output, which a lot of people are like this, then it's too bad for you. That's why there will be people who always don't benefit from the market. Okay. And this is just an example of how the East people view the West, and then the West people view the East. It's just an example. And this is also another instances where previously, back in around start of 2019, end of 2018, that period, people were saying, hey, Mayfair Garden, after all, it's still the whole stretch near the stretch of Bukit Timah. Some people like to label it, that is Dunyan Road. Then the other side is Bukit Timah. Whichever it is, later I'll show you another one. There is the so-called prime Bukit Timah. Then this one, some people like to say, hey, this one is not Bukit Timah, this the other side is Dunyan, or maybe even nearer towards Abu Bukit. So this is not considered a prime Bukit Timah, or whatever it is. So this is Mayfair Gardens. At that point, somebody bought a two-bedder over here, exited around the end of last year, which cleared the, I think, yeah, obviously clear the SSD. So this guy doesn't have to pay SSD. All these the rest is not meant to be here, because I think Square Foot has a little bit of problem. It's not meant to be here because this one at that point definitely hasn't been launched, because it was an en bloc property. So all these are invalid. transactions, so don't bother about them. All these make money, but if you look at the amount that they make and then the amount that the size of it, actually is not impressive at all. They barely they cover causes, they only make a bit. So this is definitely not something that is very impressive, especially if you look at the annualized percentage. Later we have a bit of comparison. So this is an example of a two-bedder that during that time they chose to buy Mayfair, which is obviously quite a good location with the Beauty World MRT, I would say this is quite a decent location, especially with the MRT nearby, Blue Line, if I remember correctly. And then the problem is that they made $61,000 from a two-bedder. Can you imagine going through all this trouble? Going all this headache, go and buy property, and then you pay legal fee, you pay stamp duty, you pay agent fee, you go through all this headache, and then you loogie on your CPF, and then on top of that, you don't just not earn from the CPF, you still have to pay accrued interest. This is definitely not worth it You're definitely running a loss So unfortunately, you look at the annualized 1% only. On the other hand, if that guy chose to be a little bit less emotional, I chose to be more rational at that point and went to Whistler Greenwich. A lot of people say, got school, got school here and there. Hey, hello, this one also got school Don't come and tell me about the school argument It's not valid at all Then this one got school. I'm not gonna say the same thing again. But this is so far away from MRT. This is so far away from the exit of that place. Even if you want to drive, I remember driving up from that long stretch. I'm thinking, how the hell am I gonna walk this every single day? But guess what? People are making tons of money over here. So just because you don't like it, just because you say the location is ulu, just because you say it's not convenient for you, it doesn't mean it's the same for somebody else. And at that point, if that same guy, just 1 month apart, right? I think just 1 month, 26 Jan, correct. It's not even like just slightly over 1 month plus away. If he chose to go to the two-bedder over here, which I think is obviously quite a bit cheaper, he would have made this amount of money, 300 plus thousand. And then the annualized, instead of 1%, becomes almost 7 times more. So which one is more worth it? Right? So this is the price to pay if you want to think with the common hearsay, think with the common so-called old school wisdom, and without really objectively looking at the market. And that is the typical problem of a lot of people, which I feel is fine because ultimately, like what I say a lot of times before, we need these kind of people. We need these kind of people so that there will be losers in the market, there will be winners in the market. Okay? This is also another example, like what I said just now, the other side, so-called prime, Bukit Timah, that stretch Or some people argue, hey, this is near MRT this is right in front of MRT. There's a direct connectivity to MRT some more. So you come out from MRT, there is no need for you to kena rain if there's a huge rainy day. And before you argue, and yes, this is quite a bit of profit, 300 plus thousand. But if you factor in this one times this one is easily 3 mil plus. And if you factor in that annualized percentage is 2.7%. If you look at just now, these guys are like 6, 7, 8% annualized. So this is definitely not a good bargain for sure. I don't really see the point in the argument if you're trying to argue that 300 plus is considered a good gain, therefore this guy is not. Well, the price of location over here, and at that same point around roughly that period of time, if that guy chose also almost the same period of time, this guy chose a 2 bed 2 bath 689 and then made 100 plus thousand. If you are thinking, yes, that's a lot of money, like I said just now, you got your legal fee, your stamp duty, your agent fee, and then maybe here and there all the other expenses is definitely not worth it in my opinion. On the other hand, if that guy chose to enter this just a few months ago, only not even half a year ago, and then didn't choose to wait for so far east, no, not far east, I keep thinking far, my apology. It's 4th Avenue residence. Okay. Of course, location-wise, this one is Bukit Timah, one is Marymount. Both are walking distance to MRT. One is directly connected to MRT, which is the bar. The other one is JS, G-Scape. You have to walk quite a few hundred meters away, but it's still not that bad. It's still quite decent. 2 bed 2 bath, just slightly bigger in terms of unit size. Maybe we increase by how many percent? 10%, 12, 15%. And then if let's say, but on the other hand, this one made 400 plus thousand. Even if I minus 15%, that's how much 15% is 60,000. That means if I minus 15% to factor in for the size, that means is how much 60,000, 340,000, 341,000 compared to 100,000. Which one is a better deal? I think the answer is very obvious, and hence annualized 6.2% versus 1.6%. Which one would you rather take? Answer is very obvious. But some people may be thinking, hey, this one prime Bukit Timah, near MRT, here and there. If you only think like that, these are your primary concerns, then I would say thank you on behalf of our society for those people who are rational and logical. Shall not talk more. And then the other one is at Bishan, right beside. Both of them are definitely within walking distance of MRT side by side. Location is definitely not an issue because both of them are just right beside. One is like this, one is like this. We shared this example quite a few times before, but ultimately, which is, especially in this example, I feel it's very valid given in today's environment. Got a whole bunch that is in the D15 area, and there are 3 launches, which I'm not going to talk about again, and then a whole bunch in the Landor area. So all these that you are going to enter, where there's a lot of competition, how are you going to ensure that you are not entering the wrong property? I think that is something that you have to be very, very, very careful about. So for those of you who are thinking, oh, I got luxury choice here, here a lot of supply for me to kind of choose, then unless you're really, really super rational, super logical person, if not, chances of you making a mistake, I would say generally is still quite high, because based on stats, based on what I've seen, I think most of the time people, since I'm going to buy a house, since I'm going to commit for the next 3 to 5 years, maybe even 10 years, might as well I 重自己, I spoil myself a little bit. Go buy higher floor, get a nice unblocked view, spend a little bit more, never mind. Then after that, when you get key already, I think I'm gonna stay here for 3 years. I work so hard already, I'm gonna reward myself, and then that's it. $100,000 down renovation. Then you realize small little things like, hey, maybe your neighbor's an ass. And then you just, for some reason, some other reasons also, I think neighbors also another example. For me, I'm not too concerned, because if I do move, I move. Because important thing is that I'm able to get in to with very, very logical decisions. If I have to move out, as long as I clear SSD, I'm fine. I can move out. Because most of the time I'm sitting on good, very, very good paper gains. But a lot of people are not like this. Then they realize, hey, I want to get out because of all these things, small little things. Okay, not really small, because an example, if let's say there's a neighbor always smoking every single day, and then ruining your quality of life when you are like, oh, I have this nice unblocked view, but there's this bugger down there always smoking and poisoning me, giving me lung cancer in a few years' time, then I definitely want to move out. But I'm not experiencing people again. How am I going to exit? So you realize you're caught. That's where a lot of people, their problem is. Okay, and then we are talking about exit strategizing. This is also another example. Over here you can see all these guys are got in around the same period of time, same unit size. I'm not going to show you the address because of confidentiality. But the funny thing is that all of them got in at the same time, same size. Then how come this one make only 55,000, whereas this guy make almost 10 times more. And even if I don't look at this is more than 4 times more. This is for 4 times more. This is about 8 times more. This is about 7 times more. Why is he so pathetic, this guy? Why is it like this? Can be a lot of factors. You didn't strategize properly. You are desperate to sell. You engage the wrong kind of agent. You engage your wrong strategy. I think I shared with you guys before. There's a viewer who approached me. Engage a whole bunch of agents. I will want more agents to work for me so that more people can look after my interests. Come on, stop being delusional. You don't trust people, you expect people to trust you, man. You don't trust people, and then you want people to work their hardest for you. Come on, if you are in a corporate environment, you know your boss don't trust you. Will you work your hardest, work your ass, or work your life off for your boss? I really don't think so, right? So what makes you think that you don't trust people, but you want other people to trust you and they work their hardest for you? Ultimately, yes, a lot of people treat see agents as trash, see agent as, scums are what, only here to cheat your money. If your attitude is like this, it's because you do not meet the right kind of agent. And then as a result, you don't trust people. And then people also find it hard to trust you. And then because of your one or two bad experiences, because you failed to do a due diligence to go and find the right agent to take care of your interests, and then you just basically treat everyone like this. You next time, if you want to still do property investment, I will really say most of the time you won't be getting the best deals for sure. And some people say, hey, some other agents charge 1%, then this one charge 2%. Then I scream and save, lor. Then I go for the 1%, lor. Because to you, 1% is maybe $20,000. But if that guy that is 1%, how is he able to charge 1%? Because he just want to go by volume. He just want to pay ASAP. Whereas another guy maybe charge 2%, maybe even 3% because of whatever that he's doing extra for you. $40,000 more compared to the 1%. But maybe that guy, because of his strategy, because he's planning, he's able to get you 100K extra. So these are certain things that a lot of people do not know. They do not plan ahead. They basically just go for the lowest because they lack trust. And I feel these are the kind of people that is sad because you put your life savings into whoever can give you the so-called benefits upfront. And next time you realize hey, these are the good agents that I should have gone to. And then you try to go back to them. Oh, sorry, because last time you did not you did not go through me. You want me to pick up your mess. I think that is not something that everyone can I think let's just face it Life is this is just life You want people to trust you. You have to trust people in the first place right? You want people to take care of your interests. You have to take care of other people's in the first place also Okay, simple logic So some people also, ATT, I want to go for sub-sale. Then, okay, fine, you want to go for sub-sale, don't expect profit. If you have a profit, then it's just a bonus. No, I want the time sub-sale when they are to make profits, make few $100, few $100,000. I'll just tell them the facts, and then they cannot take it. And then they go find some other agent, they sing them the song that they want. I think this one can make money. This one can make money because this one, I think this can sell higher. Not all sub sale. Today you buy at this price. Supposedly you see other people transact at 1,600. Then you buy at 1,400 plus 1,500. It doesn't mean that you will always go to 1,600. Because you really have to look at what are the characteristics. Are you buying into a product that is rare? Are you buying a 3-bedder? Maybe the whole development got like 1,000 3-bedders, and then you are buying like something that has a hell lot of supply. How are you going to ensure next time, today you want to buy enter 1,500, I'm going to exit 1,800? Whereas there's one whole other 1,000 units that maybe don't have to have all of them selling at the same time. You just need 50 of them selling at the same time, and then you're done. Okay, that is something that a lot of people also don't think. And even so, how are you going to ensure that you can stand out among all the competition? So sometimes sub-sale is a little bit like this. Some people want to let go, but some people see like, wow, treasure there. So unless you really are able to figure out a very good deal, if not, why you want to risk yourself? I really don't understand. Okay, and this one also, this is a certain news article that almost every quarter that I will find very funny is that people treat this kind of news very seriously. Oh, buyers and agents cautious because this one compared to last year is not as high. The funny thing is that all this depends on when are all these projects going to be launched. If that quarter has a lot of units that's going to be launched, obviously the figure is high If that quarter has not much units, not much development, not much project that's going to be launched, then this one confirm compared will be like this But if let's say this quarter suddenly a lot of projects all coming together, then you compare to last year, maybe quarter two, I can't remember quarter two got what, but if let's quarter two don't have as many, then chances is that this year will be high Then suddenly this news this one becomes a very bearish sentiment in the eyes of those people who are not very trained. And then the next quarter, suddenly become very bullish. Why suddenly I thought market crashing already? Then suddenly why like that? That's why it's very superficial if you only look at news such as this. And then you gauge the whole market based on this. Because all these are very like this. Is like what I say again and again, superficial. It's just at the surface, but you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Last year, 1,100 plus, what was selling? No matter what, every month was moving hell lot of units. And then just because of that, and no matter what wasn't even launched last year, it was launched the year before. But during that period of time, suddenly there was a lot of momentum, and then there were a lot of units being transacted. So a lot of people think that, hey, there is the new host movement, and then there's a accurate gauge of the market. This is not. I just take it as it is. Like, oh, okay, this is the data, and then maybe you may want to really figure out why are people buying into this development, and which one is actually a good buy. It doesn't mean that more means that it's a good. Sometimes you have to figure out what is the true value behind it. And if you are unable to figure out, then I think that is unfortunate. And so just because a lot of people are at the show fair, a lot of people are flooding the show fair, doesn't mean that it's always a good buy. Like I said a lot of times before, when I see this kind of scene, it reminds me of this. Okay, you know, basically in short, the slaughterhouse lah. Because a lot of people go to show flats to shop for property. If you go to show flat to shop for property, then unfortunately most of the time you end up being the ship. But if you already done your research beforehand and you go to show flat just to confirm what you want to buy, then very likely, very unlikely that you'll be the ship. Okay, I'm not saying you cannot go to a show flat. You can, but the problem is if you're just going there because everyone is flooding there, then you do not know your purpose. You're just blindly shopping. I would say even now, now is what is launching now. Now you have Blossoms, and now you have Continuum, all these. Probably every weekend people will be flooding to the show flat. But does most of them even know why they are there? No. I'm just going there to kaypo. Maybe wow, the show flat look nice and maybe I should buy that. I think it's a good development because of a lot of nice sales talk, because of the show flat look nice. Then unfortunately for you, lor. Okay, and then this is something that it's quite funny. I got quite some clients, or quite I wouldn't say clients, like I got some prospective buyers. They kind of say, hey, wow, the time wow, because I share with them why it is important to know what you're looking out for. And then I share with them an example. And then this unit came out and then was taken out almost immediately. And then they want, hey, if you happen to see this kind of good lobang, I can call me immediately. How to call you immediately? I mean, call you immediately, you will think that people are bugging you, people are being a pest out of nowhere. And then even if you call already, I tell you it's a good deal. You know what is a good deal, man. You don't know what's a good deal, man. And by the time I convince you it's a good deal, guess what? Unit is taken. That's why you have to be very, first of all, unless you are very good at market analysis, you even know what is a good deal coming. If not, then you really have to trust the agent that you're working with. Because sometimes if you know the person is trustworthy, can help you look out for your interest, then whatever they really feel that is a good bang they throw to you, you don't have time to think. Because there are people that are like that. Because there are people who have trusted agents and then they really 100% trust in their agent. They'll blindly go ahead. And sometimes it can be a good bad thing. But of course, you have to do a due diligence. I'm not telling you to just blindly, but you have to know what is happening in the market. These are the roughly good deals. And then if there's happen to be one unit available, then you have to jump onto it. Okay, ultimately, like what I mentioned just now, you have to work very closely with your agent. You cannot treat your agent as somebody, if you're so good, you sell lor. Then this one, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, all these agents, you all go and sell this unit, whoever can get the highest price wins lor. Come on, whoever can get a good offer, can even get a decent offer, will try to push through to you, man. You think they will look out for your interest, man? Because even if they don't close the deal, what makes you think, and then they don't get any money, what makes you think that they will push the highest interest? They just want to convince you that it's a good deal, man. And then and they won't be motivated to fight for you, man, because there is no real incentive. Think about always, whatever you do, always think about if you are the agent yourself, how are you going to be, how are you going to work with that client, which is yourself? Will you do your best or not? If you don't do your best, if you put yourself in the agent shoe, what makes you think that the agent will do for you? Okay, that is something that you have to remember. Ultimately, it's all about human relations. Some people treat your own insurance agent like trash. I mean, it's understandable lah, because property insurance agent, there are a lot of them are pure sales. They don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to sell a product, which is understandable. But you have to sieve out who are the ones with the substance. Then work with them accordingly, and then from then on, you can achieve a very positive long-term relationship that will benefit you in the long run. Okay, that will be all we have for today, and then see you guys. Bye bye.